So Child Crisis Arizona has been in the Valley since about 1976. Our mission is to provide children and youth with a safe environment free from abuse and neglect by creating strong and successful families. So we do that through prevention and through intervention programs. The foster care and adoption program is near and dear to my heart, and that's what the Tempe Diablos has always supported. Personally, I have 7 adopted nieces and nephews. My husband and I also fostered a teenager who's now just 24 years old and still in our lives. And so for me personally, I feel like kids in foster care get a bad rap. There's so many misconceptions around kids that come into the foster care system. They come through no fault of their own. They've been through so much trauma and neglect, and all they need is someone who's willing to step in and care for them and be there for them. And when that happens, when parents are supported, when kids are supported, magic happens. When the Department of Child Safety goes out and visits a family and determines that the child is not safe in that home, and that the parents need more support and resources before that child can return to their home, then DCS calls us and asks if we have families who would be willing to take them in. Another thing about Child Crisis Arizona that's unique is that we have our kinship foster care program. So this is when family members get a call out of the blue and say, hey, your niece or your nephew or your grandchild has just been taken into foster care. Would you be willing to care for them? And then it's our job to go out to those families and say, okay, you're going to take on this big responsibility. How can we support you in that? Often the kids that are teens in foster care have been in foster care for a long time. And they're hard to find homes for. People are nervous about taking in a child who's been through so much, through such a great portion of their life. And so I just think teens are fun and they're great to get to know, and you can have such a huge impact on a child's life at that really critical moment as they're transitioning to adulthood. And so that's what tugs at my heart. I love that at Child Crisis, recently that's become a focus of ours too. Not only do we have the foster care and adoption program, but we also have an extended foster care program where we're supporting kids one-on-one through the ages of 18 to 21 as they're aging out of foster care, giving them that extra support, that person to call when they have a question about all the things that you have questions about as you're becoming an adult. And that just warms my heart. I think the greatest impact is that one-on-one relationship that's built between the family and the child. Whether they're adopted or even if they're not adopted, but if they still have that person to call, that makes a huge difference. I know for my son, who like I said is 24, but recently I've gotten calls from him asking about, well, how can I raise my credit score? Or how can I change this battery in my car? All these things that everyone deals with, but if you don't have someone to call, that just makes a huge difference having that support. I feel like at Child Crisis, our secret sauce is our employees. They're the ones who are out there doing the coaching, giving that support. They're the ones who've been doing this work for a while, who know the resources that are out there, who can step in and provide that support to families. The system is far from perfect. You never know what situations are going to come up and what these kids have been through. But when you have people who are experienced and who are passionate, that has a huge impact. There are so many kids in the foster care system, and they need families. They need someone who's willing to help them grow and thrive. If you're not ready to foster, another way you can help is through donations. We're supported through DCS. We have some contracts that provide us some funding, but there's a huge gap in what we provide and what's covered through those contracts. And so we depend on the community to help make up that difference, to help us provide the best service to those families. We are a qualified foster care charity, so you can take advantage of the tax credit. It's a dollar for dollar tax credit, and you can get that right back on your taxes, and it's a win-win for everyone. It's so important to receive funds from the Tempe Diablos. All of these small charities that come together to help us do the work that we're doing makes a huge impact. We couldn't do the work that we're doing without support from the community. If you're looking to make a difference in the Tempe community, Tempe Diablo does amazing work in Tempe, supporting so many organizations that are providing vital services in the community. These services don't just have a short-term impact, they have a long-term impact on those who receive them. Thank you so much to everyone who has donated to the Tempe Diablos and who has in that way supported Child Crisis Arizona. These services are really making a difference to the children and families that we serve, and we couldn't do it without you, so thank you.